post game reaction to this absolute massacre that took place in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. That was just embarrassing, man. Embarrassing output by Oregon.
Yeah, man. BTA times 10. Smack, 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 smack. Like, hey, man, you can't show up in the playoffs like that. You can't turn the ball over. You was right about Dante Moore. All these, him throwing the
Told you.
interceptions. Pick six off the bat. They fumbled three times. All the turnovers came in Indiana territory in the first half. So they kind of Indiana didn't really have to do nothing on offense really, because Oregon was just giving it away to them, just giving it away to them. But not to take away from Indiana, they dominated defensively and even offensively. They dominated this whole game. They seemed like they was a higher class than Oregon. It was even worse than the first time they played. So it was crazy.
Man, I know everybody's gonna talk about Fernando Mendoza because I mean he's 17 for 20. He didn't pass for a lot of yards, man. He only threw for 177 yards, but he was efficient. He threw for five tutties. But Indiana's defense, man, they do not get enough credit.
That is true.
Dogs out there.
That is true. That is true. And they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. And at the
All
beginning of the
game.
season, yeah, the whole game. And at the beginning of the season, even going through the season, I wasn't even giving Indiana enough credit. I can honestly say I was sleeping on them boys, but hey, they probably the best. Not probably, they are the best team in college football right now. So it's going to be interesting to see that matchup against Miami. But I think we need to say something about Dan Lanning and all these college football playoff blowouts he be getting himself into year in and year out. Like eventually, that ain't gonna cut it, man. You gotta make some noise. You gotta win the big game, and this wasn't it.
And with the portal, man, it's only getting harder. Um,
Yeah, Indiana team gonna be better this year. I mean next year than it is this year. That's the crazy thing about it.
I
And
know.
so whether it be the younger Mendoza brother that start or the transfer from TCU that they got,
Yeah,
but
Josh Hoover, man,
Josh
he
Hoover,
he's good,
yeah,
and he's gonna be running the same. I mean, he was running the same offense. He's an RPO quarterback, and yeah, he's gonna light it up in Indiana.
yeah. So and then Nick Marsh that they picked up in the portal, they're gonna be loaded next year. So great game by Cincinnati. Mendoza, the Heisman winner, he about to run off into the sunset with a championship. Well, I don't want to speak too soon, but we'll see how that matchup go against Miami. But they got a good chance to run off into the sunset, be undefeated, win this season. I do want to say one thing. I do want to say one thing, and it happens every year when a new champion comes. I've been seeing it on Twitter for the past weekend and all this. Let's start with the comparisons from 2019 LSU and all these champions. Let Indiana have their day. Let Indiana have their moment. But
Yeah,
let's not compare. No, I'm gonna just throw that out there. Let's not compare.
I'm gonna tell you what's impressive though. What's impressive is that you know Indiana, they're doing this with guys from lower level programs.
This is
I
facts.
seen something that said that Indiana only had seven blue chip recruits on their roster. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah,
Crazy.
that's
But
wild actually.
I mean, Kirk Signetti said, man, he goes after production. That's what he looks for in the portal. He don't care about how many stars you had, what your name is. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is production.
Yeah,
Not what you could be, not based off your potential. No, he's going after production. What have you done on the field?
and that's a lot of that's really coaching. I mean, shout out to the players also, but that just shows how good of a coach he is. And early in the season, he did say, "Hey, I win everywhere. Google me." Okay, he put out that quote earlier in the season, and hey, he was right because all you doing is winning. And
Winning, man.
they in the championship game, they made this. I'm pretty sure they made a lot of people turn the TV off
Oh
at
yeah.
halftime. To be honest, yeah. So he did what he had to do. Indiana did what they had to do. It was an impressive win by Indiana. Now Oregon got to go back to the drawing board because it's probably I think it's just I know probably the third year that they get smacked in the playoffs, and it's like Dante Moore, man, you talking like you a top draft pick, saying you don't want to go to the Jets and this and that, but then you come out and play like this. Yeah, the offensive line wasn't doing you no favors because Indiana defensive line, but you got to start turning the ball over, man. Like
But
turnovers.
when we talked about this, right? When we, were making our picks, I told you the reason I picked Indiana was the way Dante Moore played the last two games. I didn't trust his decision making.
Mm,
He threw three
true.
picks in those two games, two against JMU, and then the last one against the last team that they played. So
Texas
Texas
State.
Tech. I just didn't have faith that they were going to be able. I know Ron, right? He's going to be watching this later, and he picked Oregon because it's hard to beat a team twice. Nah, man. I did not have faith in Oregon's defense for one, because they've been giving it up all year.
Yeah.
No faith.
Hey, speaking of Ryan, once I seen Indiana put a whooping on them Bama boys, 38-3. I already knew they was legit.
He don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah, he don't, but it's all good. But man, like Indiana, man, they surprised everybody, even me. They just the season that he had, really, and just because I was one of the biggest people that kept saying, "Hey, look at the conference. They don't play really nobody. Okay, they beat Ohio State, but Ohio State was super mid this year."
But I told you they was legit, man.
Yeah, you did. So I mean, hey,
When I
they
seen
shut me
on
up.
when I seen that they was legit on the line of scrimmage, no matter who they played, they didn't play down to their competition. They were just been consistent all year. I said, man, these boys gonna be a problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you can win if you can win in the trenches, you're gonna be good in most of these games. So
Yeah,
yeah, shout out to Indiana, man. They did their thing. They moved on to the national championship against Miami. Should be a good matchup. So we'll see how that goes.
yeah, we'll be talking about that later on in the week.
Yeah, but hey, yeah, and then Indiana building a little. They probably about to take over that conference. I mean, they probably about to take over that conference.
Yeah,
Ohio State, you had your fun running that little trash conference, but Indiana probably about to take off with that one. To be honest,
and I would say
especially if
people
we
gonna
can
be
hit
coming
on
after Signetti, but he signed that crazy extension. I want to say puts him there like 11 years, right?
yeah, he signed a long time extension. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a crazy. Yeah, they're gonna be good for a while, man. He
hmm
gonna keep building his team with older guys. Oh, that's another thing I want to mention. The average age of players on his roster is 23 years old. So he's getting experienced guys that have
yeah.
production, that he ain't got to, everybody's mature on this team. Because 23 is crazy. That's like an NFL rookie team, bro.
Hey, it's funny. I seen one of the dudes that be on Barstool. He mentioned that because at first I didn't notice what he mean. He said, yeah, that when they was doing the comparison, he was like, the funny thing about the 2019 team of LSU and this team is they all the same age. I had to sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
And
Because
so I
all those
looked
guys
it
from
up. I was
LSU,
like,
they either got drafted or graduated.
and like Jamar Chase 23 and all them boys,
Yeah.
and that's how I mean, experience matters, and
It
that's the
does. It makes
thing.
a difference, man. It makes a difference.
It do,
I
especially if you
don't
got a
care
good
how good
coach.
you is, man. Nothing compares to game reps. When you got game reps and you got production, it's a different beast.
That's yep. So Cincinnati got a good thing going on down there. So we gonna see how that go.
He didn't created the blueprint, man, for some folks to follow. We'll see how it ends up.
Yeah, we gonna see.
All right. Well,
But
we'll be back next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us what you think about the game. Let us know if you think Indiana's gonna win the chip. Let us know in the
yep,
comments. Till next
sir.
time. Peace.